And just go ahead and do lesson 16. Lesson 16 is one of my favorite lessons, just like last week when we did multi-step addition word problems. Now we're going to do multi-step subtraction word problems, and I love word problems. So we're going to walk through this lesson. It's a little bit shorter, so I probably won't be stopping very often. I might stop and remind you to do something, or stop and make sure that the video doesn't go too far, because the transitions have been very fast in these videos. So I want to make sure it doesn't show you the answer before you get to solve it on your own. But hopefully you need to make sure that you are solving and following along with the video and solving things on your own to make sense of what is going on.
Hey 4th graders, welcome to lesson 16. My name is Ms. Bertuman, and today we will be solving two-step word problems while using the standard subtraction algorithm fluently. Let's go! Read the first word problem with me. A company has 3 locations with 70,010 employees altogether. The first location has 34,857 employees. The second location has 17,595 employees. How many employees work in the third location? I'd like you to pause the video here to draw a tape diagram that represents this word problem. Feel free to reread the word problem if you'd like, and as you do so, you can ask yourself 2 questions. 1, can I draw something? 2, what can I draw?
So when we draw something, we are going to use our drawing as our tape diagram as our drawing. So in your tape diagram, you really need to think about what is the whole and what are the parts. So in your tape diagram, it should be broken into, think about how many sections it should be broken into. So since the company has 3 locations, that kind of gives you a clue. So go ahead and draw your tape diagram.
We'll compare our tape diagrams when you get back. We know the total number of employees. We also know how many employees work at the first location and how many employees work at the second location. We don't know how many employees work at the third location. That's what we're trying to find out. I'd like to again pause the video here and estimate about how many employees work at this third location. I'd like you to share your thoughts aloud as you're making your estimations, and then we'll go ahead and compare our estimations when you get back. Were you able to estimate the number of employees at the third location? I did too. Check it out. For my estimate, I rounded the numbers to the nearest 10,000. So for the first location, I have about 30,000 employees. And the second location, there are about 20,000 employees, which means at location 1 and location 2, there are about 50,000 employees. I know the total amount of employees is about 70,000, so I subtracted 50,000. And that means there's about 20,000 employees at the third location. Here's what I'd like you to do next. We're going to pause the video, and I'd like you to actually calculate the precise answer for this problem.
Okay, go ahead and work out the exact answer for this problem.
Of course, I'll be here when you get back, so we can compare our answers. Take a moment to compare your work with mine. Let's now label the unknown in our tick diagram, and then write a statement with the solution. Read the statement with me. 17,558 employees work in their third location. Please read this next word problem with me. Owen's goal is to have 1 million people visit his new website within the first 4 months of it being launched. Below is a chart showing the number of visitors each month. How many more visitors does he need in month 4 to reach his goal? This is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to pause the video here to do 2 things. The first thing I'd like you to do is to draw a tick diagram that represents this word problem. The second thing I'd like you to do is share out loud your strategy on how you plan to solve this word problem.
Okay, so go ahead and draw your tape diagram. Think about what your whole is and how many sections your tape diagram should have.
Of course, I'll be here when you get back. Take a moment now to compare your tape diagram with mine. One strategy that we can use to solve this problem is by first finding the sum of the first 3 months and then subtracting that number from 1 million. That will get the number of visitors needed in month 4 in order to reach Owen's goal. Here's what I'd like you to do next. Before solving for the precise answer, again, let's estimate how many visitors are needed for month 4. So you'll pause the video here to make that estimation. And then, of course, share your reasoning aloud as you make that estimate.
So go ahead and estimate how many people, how many visitors they need in month 4 to reach their goal.
We'll compare our estimations when you get back. How'd you do with your estimation? Here's mine. I first rounded each number to the nearest 100,000 after adding the first 3 months. I know that there are about 800,000 visitors that have visited Owen's website. I then subtracted that number from 1 million, and that means Owen needs about 200,000 more visitors in the month, in month 4 in order to reach his goal. We're now going to calculate the precise answer. We'll do this step by step. I'd like you to first calculate the number of visitors during the first 3 months. Do this now, and we'll compare our calculations after.
So go ahead and find the exact answer for how many more visitors he needs to reach 1 million people.
This now, and we'll compare our calculations after. What is the precise sum of the first 3 months? 829,609. We're now going to calculate the precise answer by subtracting 1 million minus 829,609. Pause here to do that subtraction problem, and we'll compare our calculation after. How many more visitors are needed for Owen to reach his goal? Owen needs 170,391 more visitors to reach his goal. Let's compare our precise solution with the estimate solution. Is our answer reasonable? Yes, our answer is reasonable because 170,391 rounded to the nearest 100,000 is 200,000. Excellent work. Let's keep going. For this last problem, I'd like you to do 3 things. 1, read the problem on your own. 2, draw a tape diagram that represents this problem. And 3, share aloud a strategy for solving this word problem.
So read the problem twice and then draw your tape diagram and think about how you are going to solve this problem.
Of course, we'll compare when you get back. Here's my tape diagram. What strategy did you come up with? I was thinking that we can first determine how many people arrived on Sunday and then add that to the number of people that attended on Saturday. Next, we are going to estimate the solution. I'd like you to pause the video here to make that estimation. As you do, share your reasoning aloud.
Go ahead and estimate your answer.
We'll compare estimations afterwards. Here you can see I've rounded to the nearest 1,000. So on Saturday, about 12,000 people attended the concert. And about 2,000 people less were there on Sunday. So I subtracted, which means about 10,000 people were in attendance on Sunday. I then added those 2 numbers, and that means for both nights, about 22,000 people were there. We're now going to calculate the exact number of people that attended for both nights.
So go ahead and do that on your own and then unpause the video to check and see if you were correct.
Pause the video here to do that calculation, and then we'll compare our answers after. How many people attended the concert on both nights? 22,895 people attended the concert on both nights. Let's return back to our estimate. Is our answer reasonable? Yes, it is, because 22,895 is near 22,000. Great work today. Let's move in to today's assignment. For your Lesson 16 problem set, your must-do problems are here on the screen. Go ahead and set a timer or watch the clock for 10 minutes to complete these problems. Of course, if you have any additional time, feel free to work through any other problems on the pages. Today, we solved 2-step word problems while using the standard subtraction algorithm fluently. Great work. Be sure to check in with your teacher, and we'll see you here again for another Eureka Math lesson.
You guys did great work today. Make sure when you are solving problems on your own, you are reading through the problems twice. The first time to get the gist of the problem, and then the second time to pick out the important information. Make sure you are drawing your tape diagrams and identifying what your whole is and what the parts are, and estimate before you solve.